9 o'clock. It's already 51 degrees out there. And everybody's waiting on their mama. So we're all in the car again with all of our riding equipment loaded up like yesterday. And we're headed up to Apex today to Kelly Road Park. There is a Beaver Creek trail there that's a paved trail. It's a 2.3 mile trail, which we probably won't do all of that to make sure we go out, we can come back, and our charge is still good. It is supposed to be shady. We've never been here before. This is a new spot for us. I did a good bit of research last night about the capital city Greenway trails and what was kind of paved biking trails there were, and I pretty much convinced myself that there's enough trails around here that are paved that we could go for the entire year, probably you know, every other weekend or something, and not explore them all. So there's a lot of choices here, but we'll go give this one a try and see how we're doing.
Yepper.
I did go ahead and order a GoPro Hero 5 Black just a little while ago on a rechargeable battery. That should be here at the middle of the week, so hopefully we'll get to test that out soon. I didn't think the video quality from the iPhone 5 was bad at all. Of course, you know, the mic in some cases we were far away, you couldn't hear, but I'm not sure that would have been that much different on my G7X Mark II. So I was pretty pleased for it for free and quick yesterday and to get it rolling, but I do have a GoPro coming. So this is just a short drive up 55. Now we intend not to get on 540, the toll road, and probably just continue on up 55 and then cut across up higher. The Tesla app was down yesterday for all users for a certain number of hours, and we really didn't notice because we don't use the app except maybe at night to look and see if Ruby's charging or not. But when I went into Tesla-Fi this morning to take a look at our trip from yesterday, because I forgot to pull the trip information from the car, I noticed that we didn't have any Tesla-Fi output for yesterday either, and I think that was totally related to that same outage. But the mobile app is back up now, and I'm sure Tesla-Fi is again recording our trips. So I'll you know, check tonight just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that was what was going on. So you can see we're approaching Kelly Road Park, and the Beaver Creek Greenway comes across up here. Yeah, we're on Kelly Road now, and needless to say, even though this is an Apex where we are quite frequently, I don't think we've ever been on this road before.
I haven't.
All right, we're here. We've parked next to our Camaro parking buddy, safe as we can. There's a baseball diamond here, and Johnny remembered we'd been here before. There is what we refer to as a castle playground. Yep, I do think the kids and I were here one time when they were younger. And we're off. Unfortunately, it starts downhill. Left or right of the manhole cover? I guess left. This would be a much better video if I could go faster than 2 miles per hour, right?
Okay, here she comes. She's doing good. This trail is nice too, but it's got those wooden bridges, and she takes it easy over those. And it started off pretty much all downhill. But here she comes. There's my surfer girl. Look at that girl go. Look at that, look at that. I'm gonna hang that curve. Woo! Cutting that corner. Woo!
Woo! Did you go to the right of me? Okay. I stopped because of the bridge. It's a little noisy here. I think that's the 540 Beltline overhead here, this overpass. Now I wish with these wooden bridges I felt comfortable to go over them. And I'm just not ready for that yet. So I walk across the bridges someday. Gotten better with the brake. Yeah, I guess here I would be afraid. I would try to stop on the bridge and I'd go over the side. Skateboard gets across the bridge, no problem. So they said this trail was mostly in the woods, and that's true. It is right here along Beaver Creek and its tributaries. Nice scenery, nice woodlands. I bet there's a lot of birds to enjoy out here if I had the time and the equipment. Don and Johnny are up ahead of me again. That's alright. I'm glad to be off the cement and back on the asphalt. It's just loud being on the cement with the seams. Handled it fine. Bump here. Hopefully I can handle it. Yep. There's a couple of obstacles. I think I'm dragging a small stick now, and some houses up here along the Greenway, but it is very shady. This would be a nice place to walk even in the summer, I think. Hi, buddy.
Hey, Mom.
You're doing great today.
Thank you.
Here at a little creek crossing where the water sounds pretty. Just a little tiny bridge. Don and Johnny are headed that way. Oh, look, tandem bike.
Yeah, it's tricky.
I'm not sure what road this is, but we did have to cross a neighborhood type road.
There she is. That's my skateboarding girl.
Johnny waited up for me. He
That's
could have
right.
left me and Johnny a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I bounced on that lip, and so I
Lost your momentum.
yeah.
This is the kind of lip in the cement or wood that makes me hop off the skateboard. Don said he tried it, and with a little practice, he's sure he can make it.
Yeah, but my come up to it, and it did knock me off. I lost my balance.
Johnny's working his way up this really hard hill. I had trouble on the scooter, on the longboard too. Those ripples in the cement are really rough on a person. But now we're crossing the Apex Peakway. Don's waiting patiently on the other side, and now there's more nice Greenway trail. So we think it's a quarter mile to Jaycee Park. This Greenway trail runs between Kelly Road and Jaycee. So I've been having really good success today in the higher speed with going up hills. I've handled tree roots rippling the asphalt. I've gone over some wet spots. I've handled a few twigs and stuff in the road, a couple of clumps of grass. So I've made a small incremental improvement today over where I was yesterday. New terrain obstacles. Johnny's getting wore out back there, and I don't blame him. He's hoping for a water fountain. Note to self, order him a bike water bottle. I want him to like coming with us, not be miserable. Well, in comparison to Kelly Road Park, Jaycee Park has no one here. It's dead. I guess if I had it to do all over again, I would have parked here, gone the other way, and played with Johnny on the playground until Dawn came back with the car. It's 2.3 miles between the two parks. Hey, Nani.
Hey there, sweet thing.
We're resting here in the shade while Johnny runs up there and gets some water. I want water, but not bad enough to walk that hill to get it.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a step and roll. I don't want to call it a brand name, but apparently it is at least, you know, it's at least not a no-name Chinese unicycle, electric unicycle. So it's holding up pretty good. The pedals don't stay up. They used to stay up when I first got it, but you know, this one sort of does, but it doesn't. A little bit. But I recommend anybody, even before you ride it the first time, you take and put you some duct tape right along that seam, front and back, because I crashed it and immediately the screws popped out the first time it hit the floor. Very first time. And as you can see, all these gashes from me crashing. So
did you have to drill a hole and put your own screw back in?
No, the duct tape is
sufficient at this point?
I wiggled the plastic around to the seam, came back together, and then I put the duct tape on there, and it's holding it as good as the screws. I mean, this is some serious duct tape. The other thing is it sort of has a little silicone, let's call them pads, but they're nowhere near. They're terrible.
It looks brutal to me.
It is, and so I started off with
shin guards.
Shin pad guards.
Taekwondo sparring shin guards, to be
right.
precise.
The ones that they use, Marianne and the boys use in Taekwondo, I borrowed a set of theirs, and that's what I used. And I turned them kind of sideways so that they were protecting this way, and they still protected a little bit front. Because what happens sometimes, the worst bruise I got is when I fell off and I kicked this thing right here with my shin. That was probably the worst bruise I got by kicking it. But judicious use of the pads is good. So anyway, what I did is this is some really thick pile carpet, and I cut off a couple squares, and then I stuck the just some old hemp rope I had underneath, poked a hole in the silicone, because it's glued on, and threaded it through there and came out the top and wrapped it around. Because it really, I'm kind of, well, I'm not really squeezing. Don't think you're bracing this between your calves. You're not. You do a little bit around the curve, particularly. I tend to put my calf on here, shin calf, and kind of really, I can cut a little tighter if I do that. But that's really it. So I would tell people, you definitely need to think of some kind of a pad, and I would, while you're beginning, I would use shin pads, because you can't have too much padding. It isn't that you need the protection, the wrist things, the elbow and the helmet for when you fall. But you need
the shin is when you're driving.
The shin pads you need while you're learning. In other words, even if you're not falling or anything else, it's abusing your shins and your ankles. So the shin pads protect that from all that abuse and allow you to, instead of having to deal with all that pain and the pain of and the frustration of learning, you just have to deal with the frustration of learning.
One of the nice curves in the creek and a little sandbar, and I've seen kids playing at several of these, looking for tadpoles and just having fun. Passing lots of families out here today, people with dogs, some kids on bikes, but we haven't passed any professional bikers doing 30 mile an hour today. So I like that about this trail. Johnny, don't get off in front of me, bud.
Can I pet the dogs?
If she says it's okay.
Is it okay? Yeah, you can pet this one.
That's my Johnny. He loves every dog he's ever seen. So if you ever see him in a park and he asks nicely if he can pet your dog, please consider it.
Yeah, she's doing much better now. She's really good. She's got her speed up a little bit.
Hi, Donnie.
Hey there, you surfer girl. You keep going. I'll catch up with you. Yeah, she's gotten way better. That'd make America's Funniest Videos. You could do it on there while you're still riding.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not. We're getting close to being back. We just went under 540, the toll road. So you got back before the rest of us.
That's right. But unfortunately, this hill right here, right before that curve, it died.
Oh, well that was almost, you could see the parking lot. It could have been worse.
Yeah, that's right.
Did it throw you off?
It died pretty quick, yeah. I mean, I was able to step off of it, but yeah, it wasn't smooth. Yeah,
You still love me? What's it gonna cost me?
Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen. Some ice cream. Okay.
Dairy Queen.
We're back.
Yeah.
It was 2.3 miles, so they said, in each direction.
Yeah.
And I guess it took us about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Don's the fastest. We know he's the fastest.
That's
he
right.
did good waiting on the rest of us slowpokes, though. Johnny is glad to be back and get some water. Yeah. I would do it again, but I think I'd want to start on the other side.
Right.
And maybe just end up over here.
It's possible.
So we passed a car show, and yeah, we have the pleasure of being beside this antique Monte Carlo.
442.
Excuse me, 442. So what's the difference between a 442 and a Monte Carlo?
Monte Carlo is a Chevrolet, and a 442 is an Oldsmobile. Although you would be correct in saying that they looked a lot alike back then.
Okay,
GM,
well excuse me, don't everybody fuss at me. It's an ice car.
I think those are known as B-body. They were the Monte Carlo, the 442, the Buick Regal. They were all built on the same, the Pontiac, what was the Pontiac?
Catalina?
I don't know now how to come up with they were all built on the same
chassis.
Well,
if you want to know about Cadillacs, I can help you out there, but if you want to know about these other cars, you'll have to go to Don.